Back to the nationally recognized Real Estate Radio Network's Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Radio Show on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. Make sure to get great information or ask your important questions at donandgino.com. Now, back to your friends, Don and Gino.
Well, you have just joined in on the new and improved Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show. That's right. After 2.5 years, we have now built our own custom studio right here at Cherry Creek Mortgage called the Vault Media Studio right here in Valencia. Very exciting stuff. This is our first live show, and we couldn't think of anybody more live than Mr. Jim Reape. We're pleased to have Jim Reape with Reape Rickett Law Firm, one of our favorite expert contributors. Always a hoot, always informed, and always with an opinion, and we appreciate that, Jim. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me again.
Speaking of opinions, I guess I stated one of my opinions, and one of our listeners says, really? Making fun of a VA appraiser?
Yeah, you're making fun of her husband.
Hey. You know, here's the thing. The truth is, I didn't think there were any VA appraisers in Santa Clarita, because every time I order one, he comes from California City, Sacramento, Bakersfield. They'll drive anywhere to do an appraisal.
Well, and you're picking on his birthday.
Aww.
We can pick on him more and just sing to him, but that'd be just
painful.
Yeah,
he doesn't want that.
Yeah, no, that's adding salt to the wound. That's for sure.
How about just a happy birthday?
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
And thanks for clarifying that for us, Connie. And just to clarify, we don't get to choose our appraisers, because if we did, of course, we would choose Connie's husband. But we don't get to choose which appraisers we use, especially with VA. VA actually applies that. So I just want to clarify that. Thanks for the shout-out, Connie, and thanks for being our number one listener. Okay, so let's touch on a little bit more about what we were talking about right before our break. Something that's a real hot topic right now, which is bullying. And no one better to kind of give us a little insight into this, because it is a hot topic, Mr. Jim Reape. Let's dive into this very touchy scenario right now.
It's a new world. I think all of us were bullied at one point or another as a kid.
I was a run. Yeah, I was the smallest kid on the block. I got literally beat up every day.
But then you were able to go home.
Yes, that's a good point.
These kids are never alone anymore.
Run that by me again?
Yeah.
They're never alone anymore.
So how's that? What do you mean they're never alone anymore?
Facebook.
So they
Twitter.
get bullied, electronic bullying.
Texts. Yeah. So
there's
most,
okay, that's even worse, because it's bullying amongst maybe just you and them, or amongst a small group. But now you can be bullied to thousands overnight.
Exactly, and
so,
that's why we're seeing some of these kids are taking their own lives now, because there's no escape.
So this is really interesting, because now we're talking about not only the old, as Don said, his physical bullying that he had to experience. We're talking about a psychological bullying here.
Which in many instances is much worse.
Sure. It could take years to try to undo something like that.
Kids' self-esteems are fragile to begin with, and you get into those awkward years where you're not quite sure how you fit, where you fit, and then
I'm still going through
it. Sorry, Jim. I never felt that way.
I'm still going through it. I was hoping when I hit 50 it might stop.
But now we find these kids will be exploited, and unfortunately the easiest ones to exploit are probably the easiest ones to be hurt. That's usually what distinguishes them, if they look different, if they act different. So rather than receiving compassion from their peers, they are ridiculed and shunned publicly.
So how is a parent to deal with that? How are they supposed to monitor their Facebook account or monitor the Twitter account? How do they deal with that?
There's two responsibilities for parents. One is the parent of the victim, and the other is the parent of the bully. And you must monitor your children's activity on their Facebook, on their Twitter, in their text messaging, because you may be raising a bully, or you may not recognize that you have a child in incredible pain.
That's really, I wouldn't even have really thought about that, but that is a new responsibility. It's kind of like almost a avoiding your child coming home with a black eye and not doing anything about it.
Exactly. I mean, online is very dangerous. So if your child has access to the internet, it's absolutely essential that you monitor what's going on.
Well, I would think too, you have to bring this to light, because I bet you a lot of the children, even doing this, think it's funny and not realize how much they could be hurting somebody without being informed. Like a parent can inform that, be careful of this. This could really hurt somebody.
True. I don't think the bullies are fundamentally evil, or
that's what
I think they are trying to do it more in jest or to be a standout in their peer group.
Mm-hmm. It could be their own insecurities, which is really ironic.
It's usually what it is.
Exactly. They're so we're going to pick on somebody else so they don't pick on me. Therefore, I'm the cool kid. But they're usually the most insecure of all of them.
Absolutely.
We all know them. We all know them. So we all have those friends going, dude, when you're with me, you're great.
Yeah.
When you're amongst our peers, what happens to you?
But that's been the same forever, right? So I think that the basis of how someone becomes a bully and how someone becomes bullied has stayed the same. What I didn't even think we were going to discuss is how they're being bullied. And, you know, you mentioned Facebook or Twitter. You're talking about a big bandwagon of folks that can jump on that bandwagon real quick. You know, it's not just the 2 or 3 friends anymore. It could be 20, 30 people that are ganging up on someone.
Exactly. The school finds out immediately.
Yeah.
Not the school, because that would mean the administration, and they never know anything. The student body.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this is a topic, obviously. Bullying's been around since the beginning of time. I mean, that's where most, not electronically, but that's where most wars are started. Heck, that's where America started. Going, all right, enough's enough. You Brits, we're going to do something about it. You know, and that's how we became, America, one of the strongest nations, in the world. And it started with bullying, which is ironic.
Never thought of it that way.
It's true.
Yeah.
Don't you agree?
Yeah, no, that's good. I never thought of it, though. That's
And,
why we bring in Jim.
And our next guest, if you just tuned in, you're here on the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. And we're here with, of course, Gino Franti and Mr. Jim Reape with Reape Rickett Law Firm, one of the very best family law practices in town. Absolutely cares about our community, cares about you. He's accountable to Santa Clarita. Jim, I love them to be able to get a hold of you. What's the best way to get a hold of you?
Telephone, 661-288-1000. Internet, divorcedigest.com.
They have to Facebook you, too. They have to like your Facebook. You kill me. The stuff Jim posts is hilarious.
It's all from my mom. Exactly. I know the line in my comedic posts is, will this give rise to my mother thinking about disowning me? And as long as I can get there, then.
So when's the last time you talked to her? Because those are spicy at times.
Yeah, they can be. I do specialize in saying things that other people won't.
I love them, though. I so look forward to them. I look for your posts all the time, and and they're informative too. You have a great mix of, throwing some humor out there, but also informing people of stuff like we were just talking about. The importance of understanding whether your child is a bully or being bullied. And it's not just physical. I really, and you do hear about it more and more, unfortunately, about kids being bullied through either Twitter or Facebook or that type of means. And it's really easy for everyone to jump on that bandwagon, too.
Yeah. You fight for your own popularity as a child, so you're typically going to join the larger group, which is going to be the bullying.
So I'm going to go back to something we were talking about maybe like 8 or 10 minutes ago. Don alluded to it, is how many parents someone has. And you said usually 2. And ultimately that's true, but how many parental figures? You could end up with a number of parental figures now through a number of divorces over a number of years and end up with 5 or 6 people trying to tell you what to do. I'm sure that's difficult for a child as well.
Yeah, it is, but I am very happy with the passage of SB 274. Let me give you why. Right now, under California law, we can only recognize 2 people as parents, and in today's world, that simply doesn't work, because you may have a genetic material from two people. Are they the parent, or is the parent the people who raised
Are
the
raising
kid?
you, right?
And they don't have to be the same anymore. So things get very complicated. And so starting January 1st, 2014, the courts will have the ability to recognize more than two that actually fulfill a role and have earned the title of a parent, giving all of the rights and responsibilities that would be associated with it.
Now, Jim, this is an interesting topic because this is stuff that we don't quite understand, and I want to can we go a little deeper on that in the final
absolutely.
segment?
I'd love to.
All right, we're going to come back with Don Gelling, Gino Fronti, and Mr. Jim Reape with Reape, easy for me to say, Reape Rickett Law Firm, talking about the how many parents you can have these days. When we come back to the Don Gino Real Estate and Finance Show, when we come back in about 2 minutes.